Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Year of the Batman. Today's BTAS episode is Mudslide. So, this is a Clayface episode, which, gotta say, very refreshing to see him again. I think he is so well animated and he's so well written. It's nice to see kind of like a tragically made hero. So, it starts off Clayface, he's doing his like shenanigans where he's impersonating people and whatnot because he's trying to pull off a robbery of this one rich dude. Um, but one of the guards catches on because he's like, I just saw this guard and I just saw him again. One's in the elevator and one's in the yard on this camera right now. So something's not adding up. So he hits the silent alarm. So Batman shows up and he runs into Hagen, and a fight breaks out between them, and you can definitely tell he's not himself. Like he's leaving more big traces of I guess his clay around. He's slower, he's weaker, he's just something's up with him. So Hagen he hears a bell go off and he's like, oh man, I guess it's time for me to go because he almost has the upper hand with Batman because he uses like a big mace to knock him out. Um, so he decides to jump out a window, which is it's so cool because he's like 40 stories high. So you just see him dive out the window and just splat on the ground, and because he's clay, nothing. So he's like slowly but surely running away, but Batman pretty easily catches up to him. And he's like, "Dude, you're deteriorating. Like I can see it plain as day. Like just stop, and I can help you." And he's like, "No, screw you. I don't need your help." So it's just about when Batman's about to get him because he's literally just like I mean he's at his last limb when all of a sudden a car comes out of nowhere and almost hits Batman, and it's this lady who rushes him into the car and they both escape. So this lady, she takes him to I guess her lab and hooks him up to some kind of like body um like a mold, kind of like how you do for sugar cookies, but he's basically going to be put in a human-sized. I don't know. It's like a puppet kind of. It's just imagine like a crash test dummy, and that's like completely empty, and that's a mold of Clayface. If that makes any sense. So it's basically a shell, is what I'm saying, like a human-shaped shell for him to keep all his clay in. So she hooks him up to that, and then she later is watching old movies of him, and she's very smitten with the guy. You can tell, and he wakes up and he's very insulted. He's like, "That's not the man who I am anymore." And then he kind of calms himself down. He's like, "You know what? That was uncalled for. I'm sorry for making a scene. Thank you for all you've done." So I kind of it, it, I don't really know if he loves her as much as she loves him. I do feel like he does have affection towards her. Like I said, it might not be as much, but I still feel like there's a little bit there. So they're talking, and he's had enough. He can't take being in a shell anymore. And she shows him there's this new isotope called MP40, and she like takes a sample from him and she puts the isotope in it, and it pretty much like works. Like the clay isn't deteriorating; it folds on its own. And Clayface, he's like playing with the clay. He's like, "Oh my god, I can like mold this to whatever. This is incredible." She's like, "Yeah, in theory, it should make you, it should like heal you and possibly make you stronger forever." So he's like, "Yeah, let's do something about that. Where is it?" And she's like, "Well, it's in the Bruce Wayne bio lab, and I don't think you should risk it because security's going to be tight, and you're barely hanging on by a thread." And he's like, I got to try it. I I can't live in this shell, and the shell, I will say, it is like so unnerving because he can't really express himself. It's just the eyes and the mouth, and I don't know. There's just something about him being in that suit that is so uneasy or uneasy. Like I don't know how to describe it. I think him in the suit is scarier than him as Clayface, if that makes any sense. Um, So during this time, Batman and Alfred, they're talking, and Alfred put Batman or Batman put Alfred on, like, I guess, like, look out for research, because he's like, okay, we need to find that woman, so search anything you can regarding, like, all the women of Clayface's life. Which, I gotta say, I really wonder what the hell Alfred's sleep schedule is, because he cooks for Batman, he's up with them throughout the night doing research, he cleans the Wayne Manor. Like, I think Alfred gets less sleep than Batman, which, I don't know. Maybe he has insomnia or something, but Alfred's really an MVP. Like, if you have a Mount Rushmore of the Bat family, if Alfred is not the second one, you're doing it wrong. Like, it's Batman, obviously. I guess maybe you could put Dick or Alfred for number two, and then number three, Dick or Alfred, and then I guess number four, I would put Batgirl personally, but Alfred has to be on that Mount Rushmore. Alfred is the GOAT. Alfred is caring and loving. He's a sassy little shit. Love Alfred. Any little bit in this episode where he was involved, he always had like a snarky little retort or whatnot. He was just so good in this episode. Love Alfred. So anyway, it's the night of the robbery. Everything's going smoothly. Clayface does usually Clayface stuff, and eventually he gets the isotope. Then the silent alarm is triggered. Um, so he makes his way out of there, and he's like kind of breaking down, and Batman spots it on his way in. So he tails this one girl, it's Clayface, to a subway. And it's so funny because, like, the subway gets there, the door opens for like 3 seconds, and it closes and shoots on up. I'm like, Jesus Christ, somebody's gonna get hurt at the subway system in Gotham. Um, so Clayface, he's on the subway, and he is very worn out. He's like can no longer hold the female form that he took, and he's like slowly but surely melting. And it's a really good animated scene where he goes from like this woman to Clayface from the melting. Looks really good. It's not as good as his transformation scene in his first episode when he kept like changing and changing and changing, but this still solid work. Really top notch stuff what they do with him. So Batman, he is on the same subway, and those two have a fight. And then Batman, he whips out, it's like pepper spray, but it's like freezing. So he sprays Hagen with it to like freeze him. But Hagen, he catches on real quick, so he jumps out of the subway and into like this like pickup truck. Thankfully, well, luckily, I guess. So he makes off, and then Batman's back in the Batcave. He's like, Alfred, is there any news on that woman? Anything like that at all? And Alfred's like, well, to tell you the truth, Master Wayne, he's not really into women that are doctors. Like, he's kind of into the floozies, if you know what I mean. The only time I ever saw him with, or he mentioned him with the doctor, is when he played a movie where he fell in love with the doctor, and Batman's like, oh my god, that's it. So Batman figures out he during his movies he had to have like a medical advisor or something like that. So he looked her up, and that's where he found him at the lab. Well, it's literally he's in the process of getting the MP40 injected into him, and he's like, oh my god, Stella, it's working, I can feel it coursing in. And he's like I don't know, 50% of the way done, and Batman comes in and he just shuts off the experiment. I'm like, Batman, oh my god, like, you're kind of being a dick right now, dude. Like, yes, he's committed crimes, but he stole from an old guy to help pay for like the lab and whatnot, and he stole from you, which you are a billionaire. Like, you can live without that MP40 whatever, and you could probably reimburse the one guy he stole from. But I mean, Batman, you're pretty much killing a man, because so the experiment, it's halted because Batman shut it off, and him and Batman have a fight, and Hagen, he like uses his last bit of strength to like swallow Batman to like try and suffocate him, and it almost works. Then out of nowhere, you see the grappling hook shoot off from his like neck and head. It looks freaking gruesome. So he grapples out of Clayface, and The two are fighting even more, which eventually leads to outside, but the outside at that time is raining. So Clayface is melting and melting more so till eventually they're fighting and it ends up alongside a cliff. So Hagen is now like hanging on to Batman on the cliff, and he's getting so worn out he eventually like can't hold on anymore, so he has to let go, and he falls right into the ocean to where he like melts. And then that's it. That's the end of it. Really, really dark episode. I can't remember if he makes an appearance again, but I mean he's dead. He you just literally just see him just deteriorate. Which, man, like what a what a trip that is to be like so close, and then Batman's like, yeah, we're gonna shut this down. Like at that point, I'm like, Batman, you're just being a dick. Like you really are just being a dick. Um, so rating wise for this episode, Alfred is an amazing addition to it. Batman doing some, I don't know, Batman like shutting things off. I mean, he didn't know Clayface was gonna be like more so bad or whatnot. I don't know. It just felt like a non Batman thing to do. I feel like if Clayface was a woman, he definitely would have gone above and beyond to cure him and make sure everything was sorted. But that's just me. But Clayface, his stuff with Stella was really good. It didn't feel like he was using her. It did feel like he was reciprocating, maybe not as well, but I couldn't imagine what was even going on in his head to like be this monster and to know that you are deteriorating. I mean, that has to do something to your head. Um, but yeah, super well animated. The bad guys plot makes sense. I don't really have too much negative to say aside from just Batman. Yeah, no, you're gonna die, boy. So I guess I'll rate it a good 6 out of 7. It's not perfect, but I mean, damn, it's really good stuff. Really, really good stuff. So, beep beep.